Hosted by Hazard, XCW Special Presentation presents Freetime Interview Season 4.
Welcome to another edition of Freetime Interviews. I'm Kenny Khaos alongside of Void here. How you doing today, sir? And we're going to get another series of hard-hitting questions. And you ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, sure.
Alrighty. And we'll jump right into it. Who's your favorite XCW superstar to watch?
So many. You have Chris Jones, Carnage, Grayson, Lee. But my favorite one, with the charisma that he puts into his moves and all the heart that he has to put into the show, I'm going to have to go with Tommy's Main Man.
Okay. Very, very fun to watch Tommy's matches and anything that Tommy did in his time here.
Those F5s off the sheds at Fletch Mom's old house. Those are fun.
Okay. You worked with quite a few here in XCW, and worked well in a lot of matches with them. What superstar do you most like to work with?
James Cerebral. I feel like every time I've been, there's only been a couple matches I've had with him, but I felt like when I did work with him, my character came out better. I came out better. I don't know, he just kind of helped me get along the way with my matches. I liked it.
All right. Now, you've experienced a lot of XCW shows, and you've seen some of the old stuff that we put on our YouTubes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what is the best show in XCW history?
Summer Media 2014. I'm sure you guys all remember the Void phase. With that corkscrew from Chris Jones onto half of the XCW roster. But that was a big mistake by me, but can't really turn back on time.
Alright. Now, how'd you get your start here in XCW?
I don't know if most XCW roster people know this. Tommy Merriman's my brother in the actual world. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have known any of this existed. He got me my start, and ever since then, that's where I've been.
Okay, and in your opinion, what is the worst show in XCW history?
I don't know. I'd have to say since 2014. With the couple matches I've seen, they weren't really good. But I'm sure there's probably worse out there. But just from what I've seen, from my knowledge and whatnot.
Okay. Now, you've had some, or you've seen a lot of big things happen here in XCW.
Yeah.
What was the biggest moment in XCW history?
Funniest moment or
Biggest.
Okay. Let's see. You getting suplexed to those lights on those two chairs? That was pretty insane. I'll have to go with that one.
Okay. You've done quite a bit here in XCW now.
Mm-hmm.
What is the biggest moment in XCW? Or what is your turning point in your XCW career?
That's a tough one. Because there's been a lot. Your career turns at any point during any time, so it's really hard to choose the biggest one, but I'd say the biggest one was the breakup between me and Jesse Justice in the tag teams. I'd have to say that was where I kind of went off my own way and became
Who you are now?
Yeah.
Okay, you've seen some pretty nasty things here in XCW. What was the worst injury you've ever sustained here?
I had a mild concussion. I went for an elbow drop on I believe it was James Gerke, and I went for my heart stopper elbow drop, and when I landed, my head snapped back and I hit pure dirt. Really should have done it on the mat, but didn't think what it was.
Alright, now, what was the worst injury you've ever witnessed?
James Cerebral off the 30-foot roof. Broke his ankle in practice. That was terrible.
Okay. Yeah, that was pretty nasty. Catch me, Brandon. Brandon didn't catch him.
Yeah.
Now, obviously we have seen where Void was gone for a while.
Yeah.
And was that one of the times where you just wanted to give up and quit, or?
No, honestly it wasn't. I was trying to make some shit work with something that didn't want to work. I tried to save a relationship between me and my ex-bitch, but that didn't work, so that's the whole reason I was going.
Now, you've seen some gimmicks. What is the worst gimmick in XCW?
I want to say Joker. I didn't like a lot of things he did.
Okay.
She just seemed too kid-friendly for me.
Okay, now switching gears, what is the best gimmick?
I'm gonna have to say James Gerke, because the way that his character is portrayed, of the dark, evil nuisance that wants to tear everything up, he does a pretty damn good job at it.
Yes, James Gerke's got a lot of potential in this gimmick.
Yes, he does.
Coming up. A lot of people don't know, but as you've witnessed, in a promo, you're kind of given a, not really a script, but like a guideline points you want to get attention on. James Gerke is one of those people you really just have to say, all right, this is who you're feuding, make it work.
Yeah.
He's one of those very few people that can do that.
Yeah.
And with this gimmick, it is very scary.
Yeah, very dark.
Now, how do you prepare for a match?
I usually got on my head, just try to get into a zone, clench fists. Sometimes I like punch shit, like fences and whatnot, trees sometimes, and I don't know, just kind of get into a zone and prepare for my match.
Okay, now branching off of that, do you have any pre-match rituals?
Bunch of trees, fences and whatnot. Pretty much the same thing. I put it all in one. 4 in 1. Roll the dice.
Okay. You're a lot scarier than I imagined, so we'll move on.
Yeah, it happens.
Okay, now, you have been in matches with LOL.
Yep.
And, you've done some, other extreme matches.
Yep.
Against other people. But there's something that sticks out in extreme. Not just weapons, and in regular matches these stick out. Chops. What is the worst chop you've ever taken?
James Gerke for sure. His hand left I don't know, at least a 24-inch mark from my chest down to my stomach. That rocked me.
Did you go down?
He went.
Okay. You have, there's many finishing moves, past and present, that have been used. Who do you think has the best finishing move?
Brandon Hobbs.
Which one?
Oh, shit.
Do you get dropped on your head?
Yep.
The Hardcore Overload? Omega Driver?
Omega Driver. There you go. Could not remember the name of that for the life of me.
Okay, now, quick question for you here.
Yeesh.
Did you ever watch wrestling before this?
Yes.
Okay. What pro wrestler influenced you?
Steve Austin. Attitude Era, arguably the best era. I grew up with that. I grew up watching reruns of it. Steve Austin always just kind of stood out to me.
Okay, now, you've wrestled in some different types of matches, and you've witnessed very different type of matches. What is your favorite concept match?
TLC's. The chair shots get pretty brutal. People get ran over by ladders all the time. That's exciting. And then I can't tell you how many flaming tables, barbed wire tables, glass tables, any other kind of tables you guys can think of. Man, you put each other through them. It's fun to watch.
TLC's a very different match, and have one coming up very soon. And okay, in a TLC match, you receive a lot of weapon shots, and you've been Xtreme Champion. You've received a lot of weapon shots.
Yeah.
So, what is the hardest weapon shot that you've ever received?
By far the Guitar Hero guitar.
I was so hoping you were going to say that.
The Guitar Hero guitar from Chris Jones, man.
Well,
I can still feel that ring.
Well, LOL. Yeah.
Oh,
LOL.
Oh, yeah.
Well, obviously this is not in character. We all know Chris Jones plays LOL, so.
Yeah.
But, Now, you're very young. You're still really new here at XCW. And where do you see your career 6 months from now?
Hopefully hoisting up that XCW championship.
As it's been elaborated on many, many times, if you don't see yourself holding the XCW championship at any time in your career, or any championship at that, I mean, then what are you doing?
Yeah.
Now, you yourself have been considered for this next question by some other people. But there's other names out there. Who's the fastest rising star in XCW?
You have Harris, Streets, myself. But out of us three, I'm going to have to go with...
Well, there's more of that. You got Immortal Sin.
you do have Sin.
Ryan Grayson has really yet to really break out of the show. He's been champion, but he can still be on a fast rising star.
Yeah, but he's halfway through his life, man. He's like 30. Or,
I'm almost... Continue.
And
Wait a minute. Carnage is like almost 40.
he's different, alright? He might be 40, but he looks 12, alright? With a beard. It happens, alright?
Fastest rising star.
Kevin Harris.
Kevin Harris does have a lot of potential, and he is still really new.
Yeah.
But like I said, you have been considered into this conversation before, so we'll see where it goes. Now, speaking of Kevin Harris, the Catalyst, Kevin Harris, the Solution, Ryan Grayson, Die Hard, Corey Lee, or just to name a few of the prefix nicknames here at XCW. But who has the best? Or who had the best?
I'm going to have to go with Devil.
Devil.
Or Nightmare. God damn
That's
it.
it. Devil's just Devil.
Yeah. I mean,
It's the Dark Angel
yeah.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
What is he? The little
I
demon
don't know.
devil?
I've drank too much. I'm sorry.
Okay. I lost my place. There it is. Okay. Now. What? Naked Devil. Instead of Naked Minion, it's Naked Devil. That's all he is now. He's naked. Probably running around naked now. Now, there's a lot of Hall of Famers. You got myself, Fletch, Chris Jones, but there's people that have built a Hall of Fame career. Who is not in the Hall of Fame that should be?
Mr. 187.
He's in there.
Oh, he is in there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Try again.
Okay. Tommy. He's been there a long time. Like I say, he put a lot of heart, a lot of charisma.
Alright. Tommy the Man Merriman. Possibly one day. Now, you've had a couple songs.
Mm-hmm.
What song got you more pumped?
The one I currently have, the negative one by Slipknot.
Yeah, Slipknot definitely will get you pumped no matter what.
Yeah.
I'm at work sometimes and I hear Psychosocial and that freaks me out.
Yeah.
Back your head banging and hitting my head on things. So.
Yep.
Now, this is one I actually did not get to in my last interview. I completely skipped over it. Babyface or heel?
Heel.
Carnage, babyface or heel?
Heel is easier to portray.
Yeah. completely skipped out on how I did, but somehow I did.
Fuck, I'm still here.
Now, I never blinks. Was you camera shy when you first came in? It just blinked.
Slightly.
Okay.
And
Now,
then-
I will say this: you were very hard to break out of your shell when you got here. Whether that been the camera shy or just you personally.
Me personally.
Now, as we can see, you're not very camera shy. When you first started coming out and we finally got your your entrance down, you scared me when you came out and screamed. So did John Streets.
Yeah, he made me shit down my leg one time.
But that right there is hard thing to do. Is be in front of this camera. Now, do you have any wrestling experience before XCW?
Nope. I mean, I used to WWE on the couch with my brothers. Does that count?
No.
Okay.
But you said you were a wrestling fan.
Yes.
That right there, as I stated with Carnage and many others, is a big thing. It helps you learn the ways.
Yeah.
Now, who are you trained upon your XW debut?
Good Lord. Tommy, Brandon, yourself. You helped a lot. Fletch. I had half the roster behind me and trying to get me to what I need to do down pat and get me ready for the the mats and whatnot.
Okay, you have been in a tag team.
Yeah.
Just Justice.
Yeah.
You wrestled other tag teams, and you have seen other tag teams.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the best tag team in XW?
Currently or of all time?
All time.
Carnage and Gurky. I feel
Revolution.
the darkness, the sinister, the way, they put it both all into one big brotherhood of darkness. It just, I don't know, it just shines up there.
Moving on. Now, don't be afraid. I want your straight, honest opinion. This question, I don't care what anyone says, there's always somebody that you just don't like. So who in XW do you personally do or used to not like?
Chris Jones. Yeah, he can't get past his ego. His ego, his attitude.
Okay. Now, you've been around, you've seen a lot of storylines here in XW. And you've seen some pretty bad ones, but you've seen some really good ones.
Yep.
So what is the best storyline?
I'm going to say the storyline building up to the XCW EBW feud. Building up that big one last explosion of excitement with those.
Okay. Now, in storylines, there's obviously a feud.
Yep.
What's the best feud?
EBW, XCW.
Okay. Branching out of that would probably be the quarterly Chris Jones feud.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of top talent in those two companies that were feuding through that at the time. Brandon Hobbs and Matt Chinchell and stuff of that nature.
Yeah.
Okay, now, you've been to 3 locations here in XW, correct? And you've seen some of them, but what is the best? 4? Okay. What is the best location?
Most obvious one would have to be Flex Mullins. I mean, we had a big. Every show there was decent, big. A lot of good memories there.
Very much so. Okay, when Void is long and gone, what kind of legacy do you think you'll leave?
Just to know that every day I go out there, I try to put everything I have, every inch of all of my energy into that match. Just to know that, like, week in, week out, I put my blood, my sweat, my tears, hell, even my money sometimes into it. And just that I never gave up.
Okay, now when XW's long and gone, what kind of legacy do you think it'll leave behind?
Brothership. Created brotherhood. Connected, what? 30 people. It's one group of what, give or take some, and everybody, really close here.
Okay, now what kind of impact did XW make on your life?
Helped me with stress. Get all my stress built up, and just knowing that I get to come out and just fucking hit people in the head with chairs, punch them in the face, just to get some of that stress out. It's kind
I
of
don't know
nice.
about all that. I don't know about the face, but
Close enough.
now, what's the best thing to come out of XW for you on a personal level?
I guess in a way, it kind of helped me, in a way, stay off the streets. Give me something to work towards. Give me something that I know would give me a positive in my life.
Okay, it's good. It's good. It's what we kind of like to do. We like to help. Now, what's your proudest XW achievement to date?
Well, the day I became a champion with the tag team in obviously the Xtreme Championship. I think becoming the Xtreme Championship was the biggest, was because it was my first time doing it on my own instead of having to have a partner do it with me or whatever.
Now, I would really, really hope, 10 years from now, I really would hope if I was to do this again with you, you'd say, my 3rd world championship, my 4,
Yeah.
Hopefully one day that you'll be able to say my proudest achievement in XW was a world champion.
Oh, yeah. I think everybody would agree.
Hopefully soon we'll see a Void in face of XCW.
Yeah.
Now, you have a very unique gimmick and name.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
The background and the background, Fletch helped me out with a lot. To set it up, and the name just kind of came to the both of us. But obviously, a little bit more credit to Fletch for that one too. But I mean, it was still hand in hand, working together on it.
Okay, this next one, you've been here in wrestling, and you've done Xtreme. But there's always those naysayers out there. What do you think of when people say that wrestling's fake?
It's not. I mean, yeah, the storyline may be just a little scripted, but once it comes to those moves, you can't put John Cena through a spotlight with a choke slam and not expect that big gash that he had about 14 inches long on his back to be fake. You can't expect for Edge to jump off a 30-foot fucking ladder onto another ladder, onto fucking Matt Hardy, and go through that ladder and expect that pain not to be fake. I mean, wrestling's real. I mean, people get hurt doing it all the time.
Okay, well, thank you so much. So another free time interview. Thank you, Void, for
Thank
joining
you.
me here.
Thank you for your time.
And I'll see you